In the heart of the Black Forest, where sunlight barely penetrates the dense canopy, there lies a legend whispered through generations. The locals speak of a place where time does not follow the laws of nature, where the past, present, and future intertwine in inexplicable ways. This place is known simply as the Vortex. Our protagonist, Alexander Alex Thompson, a young historian obsessed with unsolved mysteries, has spent years researching unexplained disappearances and supernatural phenomena, always searching for an answer that could explain the inexplicable. His journey leads him to the small town of Ravensbrück, where he hopes to find clues about the whereabouts of his younger brother, who vanished without a trace 5 years ago. As Alex arrives in Ravensbrück, he is greeted with suspicion by the locals, who seem to be hiding something, as if the entire town is guarding a dark secret. Determined to uncover the truth, Alex decides to explore the Black Forest, despite warnings that no one who enters comes out unscathed. While venturing through the forest, Alex begins to experience strange occurrences. His watch stops working, and he hears voices whispering his name. As he delves deeper, he finds objects belonging to missing persons, including a necklace he had given his brother on his birthday. Each discovery makes him more determined to continue, but also more apprehensive about what awaits him. One night, as Alex camps in a clearing and lights a fire to keep warm, he hears footsteps approaching. Suddenly, a hooded figure emerges from the shadows. The figure introduces himself as Elias, a man who claims to have been trapped in the vortex for decades. Elias warns Alex about the dangers of the vortex and the dark forces that reside within it, telling him that the only way to escape is to uncover the truth about his own past and confront his deepest fears. Skeptical but with no other choice, Alex decides to trust Elias. Together, they venture deeper into the forest, where they face a series of challenges that test Alex's courage and resolve. Along the way, Alex begins to experience vivid flashbacks of his childhood, revealing secrets he had long forgotten. He realizes that his brother's disappearance is connected to a tragic event from their past, an event he had blocked from his memory. As they approach the heart of the vortex, Alex and Elias are confronted by a dark entity that feeds on fear and despair. The entity reveals itself to be a manifestation of Alex's own guilt and regret, a physical representation of the emotions that have haunted him for years. In a climactic battle, Alex must confront his inner demons and find the strength to forgive himself for the past. With the entity defeated, the vortex begins to collapse, and Alex finds himself back in the present. He returns to Ravensbrück, where he is reunited with his brother, who had been trapped in the vortex all along. The town celebrates their reunion, and Alex finally finds the peace he has been searching for. In the end, Alex realizes that the true power of the vortex was not in its ability to manipulate time, but in its ability to reveal the hidden truths within each person. He returns to his life with a newfound sense of purpose, determined to use his knowledge to help others find their own path to redemption. As Alex ventured deeper into the Black Forest, the air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to dance with a life of their own. The trees, ancient and towering, formed a natural cathedral around him, their gnarled roots twisting like serpents across the forest floor. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig or the distant hoot of an owl. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that unseen eyes followed his every move. He pulled out his journal, a worn, leather-bound book filled with notes and sketches from his years of research. Flipping through the pages, he paused at a drawing of his brother, a smile frozen in time. "I will find you, Jamie," he whispered, his voice barely audible. He tucked the journal back into his bag and continued on, his determination stealing his resolve. As the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows through the forest, Alex stumbled upon a small, crystal-clear stream. He knelt beside it, cupping the cold water in his hands and splashing it on his face. The water seemed to invigorate him, washing away some of the fatigue that had settled in his bones. He filled his canteen and took a long drink, the water tasting sweeter than any he had ever known. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the bushes nearby. Alex tensed, his heart pounding in his chest. He slowly reached for the small knife he carried in his belt, his eyes scanning the darkness. The rustling grew louder, and then, out of the shadows, a small fox emerged. It looked at Alex with curious eyes, unafraid and seemingly unafraid of his presence. "Hey there, little fellow," Alex said softly, relief washing over him. The fox tilted its head, as if understanding him, before darting back into the undergrowth. Alex couldn't help but smile, a rare moment of lightness in the oppressive atmosphere of the forest. He set up camp near the stream, gathering firewood and building a small fire. As he sat by the flames, he pulled out a small, battered photograph of his family. His parents, his sister, and Jamie, all smiling and happy, a moment captured in time. He traced their faces with his fingers, a pang of longing gripping his heart. The fire crackled and popped, casting flickering shadows on the surrounding trees. Alex's mind wandered to the stories he had heard about the vortex, tales of time loops and parallel worlds. He wondered if Jamie was trapped in one of those loops, reliving the same moments over and over again. The thought sent a shiver down his spine. As the night deepened, Alex's eyelids grew heavy. He wrapped himself in his blanket and lay down, the fire's warmth a comforting presence. Just as he was drifting off to sleep, he heard it, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper on the wind. It was a voice calling his name. "Alex!" He sat up, his heart racing. The voice was familiar, yet he couldn't place it. He looked around, but there was no one there. The fire still burned brightly, and the forest was still. He lay back down, chalking it up to his imagination, but the voice lingered in his mind, haunting him. The next morning, Alex woke to the sound of birdsong. The forest bathed in a soft, golden light. He packed up his camp quickly, eager to continue his journey. As he walked, he noticed that the forest seemed to change around him, the trees growing denser and the path more treacherous. He came across a small, abandoned cabin, its wooden walls weathered and moss-covered. The door creaked ominously in the wind, and the windows were dark and empty. Alex approached cautiously, pushing the door open with a gloved hand. The interior was musty and damp, the remnants of a life long abandoned scattered about. In the corner of the cabin, he found a journal, its pages yellowed with age. He flipped through it, his eyes scanning the faded handwriting. It was the diary of a man named Elias, who had lived in the forest decades ago. The entries spoke of strange occurrences, of time slipping and reality bending. The last entry was dated 50 years ago, and it spoke of a dark entity that had taken hold of the forest. Alex's hands trembled as he read the final words. "It is coming for me. I can feel it in the shadows, in the silence. I do not know if I can escape, but I must try. For if I do not, all is lost." He closed the journal, his mind racing. Could this be the same Elias who had warned him about the vortex? The coincidence seemed too great to ignore. He tucked the journal into his bag, determined to find answers. As he left the cabin, he noticed a path he hadn't seen before, a narrow trail leading deeper into the forest. He followed it, his senses on high alert. The trees seemed to press in on him, their branches forming a canopy that blotted out the sky. The air grew thicker and the light dimmer, as if he were descending into the depths of the earth. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing, a circle of ancient standing stones, arranged in a perfect ring. The stones were covered in moss and lichen, their surfaces etched with symbols that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. In the center of the clearing stood a figure, cloaked and hooded, facing away from him. "Who are you?" Alex called out, his voice echoing in the stillness. The figure turned slowly, revealing a face that was both familiar and strange. It was Elias, but not as he had seen him before. This Elias was younger, his eyes clear and bright, a stark contrast to the weary, haunted man Alex had met. "I am a version of myself from another time," Elias said, his voice echoing with a strange resonance. "I have been waiting for you, Alex. You are the key to breaking the cycle, to freeing us all from the vortex's grasp." Alex's mind reeled with questions, but before he could speak, the ground beneath him trembled. The standing stones began to glow with an eerie light, and the air filled with a low, pulsating hum. The dark entity, the manifestation of his guilt and fear, emerged from the shadows, its form shifting and writhing like smoke. "You cannot escape your past, Alex," the entity hissed, its voice a chorus of whispers. "You are bound to me, to your guilt, to your fear. You will never find peace." Alex stood his ground, his heart pounding but his resolve unshaken. He thought of his brother, of the love and memories they shared, and he found the strength to face the entity. "I am not afraid of you," he said, his voice steady and clear. "I know the truth now. I know that my guilt has been a prison of my own making, and I choose to let it go." The entity shrieked, its form dissolving like mist in the wind. The standing stones dimmed, their light fading as the entity vanished. Elias placed a hand on Alex's shoulder, his touch warm and reassuring. "You have done what no one else could, Alex. You have faced your fears and emerged victorious. The vortex's hold is broken." As the words left Elias's lips, the forest around them began to change. The trees receded, the shadows lifted, and the air grew light and clear. Alex found himself standing in a familiar glade, the sun shining brightly overhead. He turned to Elias, but the man was gone, vanished like a dream upon waking. Alex made his way back to Ravensbrook, his heart lighter than it had been in years. As he entered the town, he was greeted with smiles and waves. The suspicion and fear that had once filled the air now replaced with warmth and welcome. He made his way to the town square, where a festival was in full swing, the villagers celebrating with music and dance. And there, in the midst of the celebration, he saw him, Jamie, his brother, alive and well, laughing and talking with a group of friends. Alex's heart swelled with joy, and he rushed forward, embracing his brother tightly. "I found you," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "I finally found you." Jamie looked at him, his eyes filled with love and gratitude. "I knew you would, Alex. I knew you would never give up." As the brothers stood there, surrounded by the joy and celebration of the town, Alex knew that his journey had come to an end. He had faced his fears, uncovered the truth, and found his brother. The vortex's hold was broken, and the dark entity vanquished. He had found peace, and in doing so, he had found his way home. In the days that followed, Alex and Jamie spent time reconnecting, sharing stories of their experiences and the lessons they had learned. Alex told Jamie of his journey through the Black Forest, of the challenges he had faced, and the truths he had uncovered. Jamie, in turn, shared his own experiences, of the strange and wondrous things he had seen while trapped in the vortex. Together, they decided to stay in Ravensbrook, to help the town heal and to share their story with others who might find themselves lost and searching for answers. They opened a small bookstore and cafe, a place where people could come to read, to share stories, and to find a sense of community and belonging. As the seasons changed and the years passed, Alex and Jamie's bookstore became a beacon of hope and light in the heart of Ravensbrook. They hosted storytelling nights, where villagers would gather to share tales of their own journeys and adventures. Alex and Jamie would often take the stage, their voices weaving a tapestry of words that captivated and inspired their audience. One evening, as Alex stood before the gathered crowd, he looked out at the sea of faces, each one a story waiting to be told. He smiled, his heart filled with gratitude and love. "Stories have the power to heal, to connect and to transform," he said, his voice steady and clear. "They remind us that we are not alone, that our struggles and triumphs are shared, and that there is always hope, even in the darkest of times." As the villagers listened, their hearts and minds opened, and they found the courage to face their own fears and uncertainties. They found strength in each other, in the shared experience of storytelling, and in the knowledge that they were part of something greater than themselves. And so Alex and Jamie's journey came full circle, their story a testament to the power of love, determination, and the unbreakable bond between brothers. They had faced the darkness and emerged into the light, their lives forever changed by the lessons they had learned and the truths they had uncovered. In the end, the true power of the vortex was not in its ability to manipulate time, but in its ability to reveal the hidden truths within each person. Alex and Jamie had found those truths, and in doing so, they had found their way home, their hearts and minds forever intertwined with the magic and mystery of the Black Forest.